Hi everybody, I'm Dr. Todd and welcome to this week's episode of the Miller Method. Today we are going to be talking about people's obsession with the scale and why this is bad and why I think it's a habit that you need to get out of if it's one that you're currently in. So I'm going to put up a picture of two women, and you can see from this picture that the woman on the left is physically larger than the woman on the right. The woman on the right is more lean. But the interesting thing about this picture is these women both weigh about 140 pounds. So both of them weigh the same, but they look very different. And why is this? And this is because of the difference in the ratio of muscle to fat in these people. So the woman on the right has a higher amount of muscle than the woman on the left. And muscle is more dense than fat, meaning a pound of muscle will physically take up less space than a pound of fat. So this is something that is not tracked by the scale. So the scale cannot tell body composition. You can buy body composition scales for your bathroom. They're not accurate, so don't bother with those. They'll only frustrate you. So let's talk a little bit more about the importance of measuring body composition and paying more attention to that than the scale. So I want to give you an example of someone that came into our lab. She's a 45-year-old woman. We started talking about her diet, and she told me that she was primarily vegetarian, ate a lot of fruits, vegetables, and some red flags immediately go off when somebody has that discussion with me. Typically a vegetarian diet in a female is often too low in protein, and when somebody says they eat lots of salads and vegetables and fruits, that's great, but it's often too low in calories as well. So we did a body composition test on her using the InBody 720, which is here behind me. And one of the things that the InBody does is it tells you how much fat you need to lose or how much muscle you need to gain in order to put you in the mid-range of somebody your age and gender. And this particular person needed to gain about 12 pounds of muscle in order to be in the mid-range of where she was. Now, she didn't look overweight. She was relatively thin, but her muscle mass was too low. So I'm going to put up the results of her body composition testing at month 1, or at the baseline level at month 1 and then at month 2. And you can see from these results that she started at a body weight of about 125 pounds. She had about 35 pounds of fat, about 90 pounds of muscle, and her percent fat was just under 28%. So after 2 months of following the recommendations that we gave her, her body weight finished up at around 126. Her fat weight was about 33 pounds, her muscle weight was about 94 pounds, and her percent fat was about 26. So if we look at a summary table that shows these changes, what happened? Well, her weight actually increased by about 1.5 pounds. Her fat went down by about 2 pounds, and her muscle increased by 3.6, almost 4 pounds of muscle gain. What that meant was that her percent fat dropped by about 2%, which is really good. So what recommendation did we give this woman? The recommendation was very simple. We recommended that she take a high-quality, high-protein meal replacement shake, 1 per day. And not for the purpose of replacing a meal, but simply just adding it to her diet and changing nothing else. That increased her caloric intake, it increased her protein intake, and as a result of that, she lost fat and gained muscle. Now, why is this important? It's important because if I told this woman, just take meal replacement shakes or just modify your diet without measuring her body composition, what would have happened? She would have gotten on the scale at 124 when she started. 2 months later, she would have gotten on the scale at 126 pounds. She would have got freaked out, and she would have said, these meal replacement shakes are making me fat. They're making me gain weight. And she would have quit. And she would have reverted right back to the position she was in before. So this is why measuring body composition is critically important, and why not looking at the scale and being obsessed with the reading on the scale is very important as well. So if you're interested in losing weight, the best thing that you can do is look at how you look in the mirror, look at your measurements, look at your body composition, but do not look solely at the number on the scale. Thanks.